Welcome to Popternative, where we dive into topical discussions from the worlds of pop culture, social media, and sports. Here is your host, Peter Remoliotis, aka PD Beats.
PD Beats here from Popternative, speaking to Shamilla Miller about The Umbrella Man, which has been selected to play this year at TIFF. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for being here.
Yay, thank you for having me. I'm so honored.
Is one of the best things about being a storyteller these opportunities where your films can be seen all around the world? Like, is that one of the best parts about it?
Honestly, it's compartmentalized because making a film is like the best part about filmmaking. But having eyes on your film and having it travel, it is something that you can't even comprehend. It is so wonderful and it's so great. And
it's so great. It's so great. It's been selected for TIFF. You're going to be going to Toronto. It's so exciting and everything. What was going through your mind and like what were the conversations like with the filmmakers and your other cast when you found out it was officially going to be selected for TIFF this year?
It was so well. So actually we had two premieres here in South Africa, one in Cape Town, one in Johannesburg. And the screening for the Johannesburg premiere had already started. It was like 10 or 15 minutes in. And the producer, Joel, came into the theater and us actors, we were sitting right in front and he was like, come out here, come. And we were like, we're watching the film. And he's like, you've seen the film, come out. And then he takes us to a restaurant in the center and they make the announcement there to the actors and we just lost our minds. We thought they were joking. We were like, what are you talking about? Because it happened so quickly. The film hadn't even been released yet. It was going to be released that next week. Mm-hmm. And we were just so ecstatic. We were just like, wait, what? And he was like, you're all coming to Toronto. And we were like, wait, what? Amazing.
It's so amazing. We don't like spoilers here on Popternative because we like our audiences going in fresh and everything. Tell us a little bit about The Umbrella Men, as much as you can without spoilers. Like, what can they expect from this film? Because there's a lot happening in this film. Like, this is a packed film. And this is not one of those films where you can kind of just put on in the background while you're eating a piece of pizza and just kind of passively watch. You got to pay attention for this film.
Yeah, 100%. So without giving anything away, basically, there are these group of people. There's one guy who was trying to save his club. His it's a jazz kind of club. It's called Guma, which is the type of music that the film is kind of, centers around. And in trying to save the club and save the minstrel band, they plan a heist.
Yeah, that is
to rob a bank.
Yeah, and like when you're making this movie, do you realize that you're making like a genre-bending movie that has kind of a lot of elements? Like it's got the comedy and it's got like a bit of the drama and it's got, like you said, the heist. Like, or does that kind of happen? But do you know beforehand that you're making a movie that has a lot of genres in one?
So with this one, we did know beforehand because John Barker, who's the director and writer, he wrote the script 14 years ago.
Yeah.
So it's been developing for that long, and he wanted to make he knew the storyline, and as it developed over the years, he knew he was going to make a heist caper film, and so I think that's why it took so long. I think the timing had to be right. I think the money had to be right because you needed to do everything properly, and you also had to have the right people performing to get the comedy, because it's a very particular type of comedy as well.
Absolutely.
So all these elements had to be like fine-tuned. So, to be honest with you, the movie turned out even better than it was on the page.
Yeah.
Like the script was brilliant, but when you see it come to life, you hear the music, you see the colors, you see the world. It's unbelievable. It's crazy.
And people are going to be able to see it at TIFF. It's a selection this year at TIFF in Toronto, which is amazing. It's so great that you're going to Toronto. Everyone's going to Toronto. You guys are going to have such a great time. It's going to be awesome. Toronto's an amazing city.
I haven't been before, so I'm very excited.
It's going to be amazing. When do you leave? Like pretty soon?
On Thursday. Yeah.
I know, and it's
so
like doing the press before.
I land there Friday morning, and then our premiere is on the 10th.
And you land on Friday morning, and then it's just going to be like, boom, boom.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's interesting because you've worked on a lot of projects in South Africa. Some have gotten opportunities to be seen from a global audience. I believe, you were on some episodes of Blood and Water, which was on Netflix, and people were able to see that and everything. You have worked on some projects that are very popular, like in South Africa, but maybe here and there have a different audience. What's that like for you at being able to kind of work on a lot of different projects, but kind of knowing now that South African content has the opportunity to be seen by more countries? Because like the same with me, like in Canada, everything, there was stuff that was only in Canada. Now it's not the case anymore. Are you starting to realize that that's a realization now that more people get to see your stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, because I mean, actors here, there's quite a booming film industry in South Africa, and we do make a lot of content. And so I think when Netflix came, and it was not even long ago, I think it was like 2019 when they started producing shows in South Africa, and that has just opened up the doors to such a wide audience that it's literally given us this platform that we never had before. And the power that comes with that, and the opportunities to be seen, and potentially when you go to other countries, let's say I want to relocate, someone might know me there. I could get into the film industry there because I've got my resume on a streaming site.
Absolutely. Because I was doing some research before I started. There was a lot of like series that you were in South Africa that seemed to be pretty popular in South Africa. Like a lot of people know those projects. And I always found that interesting because, maybe these are projects that you worked on like 5-6 years ago, and maybe, certain countries are finally going to be able to see them, and it's going to be new to, like, I always thought that was so interesting to me. Like something you might have done like 5-6 years ago might be new to someone else. You know what I mean?
And it's so beautiful that like discovery, when people find shows, especially if they're old, because it's like, it's not that you forget, but you kind of like move on through life, and you become involved with different projects. So if someone has found a series, and it happened recently, actually, I had a movie that came out a couple of years ago, and someone had DM'd me on Instagram going, "Oh, I just watched this movie. It really moved me. It was like, it was just such a beautiful message." And I was like, "Oh, wow, that's so special." And the lessons that person had taken from the movie, and it kind of came full circle again, like 4-5 years later. So it's such a beautiful thing.
Absolutely. And before we wrap up, a couple more questions quickly. People are going to be able to see the film Umbrella Man at TIFF. When they get a chance to watch this film, Shamilla, what are you hoping they get out of it takeaway-wise?
I hope that they just have a good time. This is a film that is made for entertainment, right? It's fun. It's got a lot of stories I feel like it's got a lot of stories that people can resonate with. And it's a lot of fun. It's also going to introduce the audience, or international audience, to a culture and a style that is indigenous to Cape Town that they might not have seen before. So, if people know Cape Town, they know the beaches, they know kind of like the mountain and the city, but this specific culture, this minstrel culture, hasn't really been portrayed on screen. So also to share that with the world, and to, open it up, it's something that I want people to see. So
besides the nerves, because they're going to be there regardless, what is the mindset knowing that very soon this film is going to be seen by a pretty big audience at TIFF? But because obviously it's going to be overwhelming. There's going to be nerves. That's obvious. But anything else, like what's kind of going through your mind knowing that like instantly it's selected and more people are going to be able to see it, more people are going to be talking about it? What's going through your mind?
Besides the nerves, obviously it is a big thing, but I'm like overwhelmed with excitement. And I'm also just really proud of this film. Like I'm proud that people are going to see it. We put so much hard work into it. The team, John has been working so long to produce this movie. So I'm just so proud of the team. I'm proud of what we've done, and I'm really excited for people just to see it and immerse themselves in the culture that we're going to portray on the screen.
Amazing. Shamilla, thank you so much for coming on Pop Turn. It was so great chatting with you.
You as well. Thank you so much.
It's gonna be it's selected for TIFF. You have an Instagram account you mentioned that people can keep up to date with, right?
Yes, Shamilla Miller. Shamilla.Miller.
Amazing. Well, this has been Popternative, youtube.com/Popternative for previous episodes. Please give us a subscription if you like what you see. Until next time, this is Shamilla Miller, who stars in The Umbrella Man, which is a selection this year at TIFF. And Peter Beats signing off.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube. Be sure to like Popternative on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.